What were the slave codes in Black history? Have you ever wondered how laws shaped the lives of enslaved African people in America? The story of slave codes is a significant chapter in Black history. These laws were created in the American colonies and later in the United States to control the lives of enslaved individuals. They were based on the idea that enslaved people were property, not human beings with rights. The primary goal of slave codes was to maintain the system of chattel slavery and protect the interests of those who enslaved others. Initially, these codes were modeled after British colonial laws, particularly those from Barbados and Jamaica. Virginia's slave code became a key example that many other colonies followed. These laws restricted almost every aspect of life for enslaved people. For instance, they were not allowed to learn how to read or write. They could not leave their enslavers' property without permission, gather in groups, or own property or weapons. Even defending themselves against white individuals was prohibited. Enslaved people could not buy or sell goods or hire out their labor independently. To enforce these laws, slave patrols were established. These groups of white men were responsible for capturing runaway enslaved people and ensuring compliance with the codes. The enforcement of these laws often became stricter, especially after slave rebellions or increased abolitionist activities. After the American Revolutionary War, Southern states expanded these laws. Events like Nat Turner's rebellion in 1831 led to even harsher regulations. The slave codes legally defined enslaved individuals as property, stripping them of basic rights and justifying brutal treatment. Following the Civil War and the end of slavery, slave codes were replaced by black codes during the Reconstruction era. These new laws aimed to limit the freedoms of newly freed African Americans by restricting their economic, political, and social rights. The black codes eventually laid the groundwork for Jim Crow laws, which enforced racial segregation and discrimination well into the 20th century. Understanding slave codes is essential to grasping the history of Black Americans. They illustrate the legal means used to enforce slavery and racial oppression. The legacy of these laws continues to influence the ongoing fight against racial injustice in the United States today.